Malcolm X, a graphic biography by Andrew Helfer and Randy DeBurke. I picked this up from the library, and as you can see, it's very short, so I knew it was going to be quite introductory, probably aimed at junior high students, and that's exactly what it was. Yet even then, I found myself a little bit disappointed in it. This is because it was just one more graphic history that turned out to be little more than an illustrated Wikipedia article. Rather than throwing you into scenes and letting them play out naturally, it's instead just a very brief running narration. This happened to Malcolm X, then that happened to Malcolm X. The first half of this is taken up before he leaves prison, so his wheelings and dealings on the streets with hustlers and pimps and drug dealers, and then the back half is almost entirely dominated with his interactions in the nations of Islam and his eventual falling out with Elijah Muhammad and all of that. With the Nation of Islam, I think it was a little bit one-sided. There was a perceived social good with the Nation of Islam where their big thing was to try and reform convicts, turn them away from violence and of drugs and all of these really bad vices that led them into terrible situations. But then that's how they sort of insidiously got their hooks into people and operated sort of like a cult would, and they only got worse with time. I was surprised to find that the book did get into their very cultish beliefs concerning white people, how they believe that white people were created in a lab by an evil scientist thousands of years ago. So I'm always kind of surprised when something on Malcolm X dives into that. But then when it came to who Malcolm X actually was and his evolving ideology, it left so much to be desired. It didn't get into his ability to instill a sense of pride among black people, asking why they were taught to hate themselves and their appearance. It didn't really get too far into his taking our rights by any means necessary. It did spend a little time contrasting his approach in de facto segregation with the nonviolent civil rights movement in the South with their de jure segregation and all of that, but it really didn't go far enough into explaining why he felt the way he did. And for example, when he comes back from Hajj and is a little bit reformed, he's seen all these races coming together. He says, I'm not going to call the white people the devil anymore. And we hadn't really seen him doing that up until this point. So I really feel like I need to finally seek out the Malcolm X autobiography or the book A Life of Reinvention, which won a Pulitzer, to really understand him. I thought that I was at the level where I needed a book like this, but apparently I'm past that. So I would say only seek this out if you don't even really know who Malcolm X is. Other than that, I would say leave it and probably read his autobiography instead. But yeah, those are my thoughts.